while it's introing, so we bounce. Oh yeah. Hello and welcome to the April 2021 edition of Otter Update. I'm your host Nathan Wadel.
And I'm your co-host Dallas Berry.
I'm so happy that the weather is finally getting warmer so we can spend some time outside.
And with the warmer weather comes outdoor sports. Let's take a look at some Otter Spring sports.
Senior reporter Jackson Knick with
Otter coach Matt McGovern.
So Coach, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the golf season here. So how's the golf season going so far?
Well, we're off to a good start. We're happy that we're outside, but we've had some pretty bad weather. We've had 2 varsity meets. One was in rain and wind, and the other one was pretty nice. This week looks a little iffy with weather too, but we're excited that we're outside.
All right, perfect. And then what are you looking most forward for the golf season coming up here?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I'm excited about how young the team is. We have a lot of 9th and 8th graders that are playing, and a couple that are playing varsity. And then also our seniors, including yourself and Sam Western and then Chance Fazio. I think we have a chance to have a really good team this year.
All right, perfect. Thank you for answering all my questions.
You bet. Thanks.
Senior reporter here, Jackson Knick with
Charlie Feeder.
So Charlie, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the golf season. So
All right.
how's the golf season going so far?
It's going all right. Could be a little bit better, but we're working on the course to improve our skills.
Perfect. And then what are you excited to look forward for the golf season?
Hopefully finish well on some meets and just have fun with the guys.
Perfect. Thank you for answering all my questions.
You're welcome.
I hope all sports teams have a good season this year.
Good luck out there. Make some great memories.
Speaking of memories, we caught up with some seniors to share some of their memories and future plans.
And after that, we'll spend some time to learn about a kid named Ben.
Senior reporter Isaac Anderson here with
Alexis Alren.
So Alexis, what's your favorite memory of the school year?
When a student pulled the fire alarm, I think back in sophomore year, and they were going off for over an hour.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Do you have any plans for next year or college or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to M-State for my pre-nursing, and then I'll get my RN in 2 years, so.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Senior reporter Nathan Wadel here with
Connor Ackerson.
So Connor, what is your favorite memory in high school?
I would have to say it was in U.S. history when Rinky called Mr. Hansen Randy on the first day. So, and you got a good reaction out of him. So.
Nice. Do you have any plans for next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna attend NDSU for mathematics.
Thank you.
Senior reporter Luke Opatz here with
Dallas.
So Dallas, what's your favorite memory while at the school?
Well, we were at state this year, and 4 of our players and our team manager got stuck in the elevator for an hour and a half, and firefighters came and everything. Me and Rinky are the ones who eventually got them out.
Well, that's good. And then also, what is your plans after high school?
I'm just planning on working at the family construction business.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senior reporter Brandon Brusen here with
Max Nacky.
All right, Max. If you had to say your favorite thing or favorite memory about high school, what do you think it'd be?
Probably just hanging out with the boys.
Right on, right on. So Saturdays are for, but we get to chill with them in school. How lucky are we? Senior reporter Brandon Brusen here with
Natalie Franson.
All right, Natalie. What's your favorite memory or your favorite part about high school?
My favorite memory is playing heyday in the senior foyer.
I respect the grind.
Senior reporter Tate Preston here with
Eliza Robertson, and this is Ben.
Oh,
yeah, tell them your name. Good job, Ben Ronquist.
What kind of snack do you like? What's your favorite food?
Granola bars. Yes, you like granola bars, don't you?
So Ben, what kind of activity do you like to do? What's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite things to do are swimming and hanging out on the beach.
Do you have any pets?
My family has a golden doodle named Maisie.
So, do you think you could tell me something about your family?
an older brother, and 2 sisters.
So, how does Ben speak to you guys?
Ben is working on using a communication device and then some sign language as well to communicate his needs. But sometimes Ben will communicate in other ways, such as maybe throwing something if he is upset about something, or he will use his hands when he knows that, when he knows that we're not going to give him access to something. He might go like this, and that is how we know that he's kind of fed up with us a little bit. So he has a few different ways of communicating, and as you can see, he kind of was upset with us and then he was happy, and he likes to squeeze. Pressure feels good for a lot of individuals who have autism, and so he always tries to squeeze hands. So sometimes, like in the hallways, he might try to reach out for people, and a good way to handle that is just by giving him a 5. Can you give me a 5? Good job, Ben.
What kind of disability does Ben have?
Ben is diagnosed actually with several disabilities, and that's very common with autism. He does have autism spectrum, or is on the autism spectrum, and along with that comes oftentimes where there's 3 or 4 other disabilities that go alongside that too. So he is a unique, a unique kiddo with various needs.
I was wondering if you can explain a little bit about autism and how it affects Ben's life.
Yes, so if you can imagine what it would be like to be without your voice for a day, and the things that you do with your voice in one day, those are all limited for Ben because he does not utilize his voice the same that you or I do. So, see, he just grabbed and squeezed really hard. That scares, that might be scary to some people, but he's not trying to be harmful. So, Ben's day could be a great day. Ben could come to school and inside not feel well, and we don't know how to tell unless we look at his eyes or his face and we can see that something's going on. So Ben's autism affects the way that he communicates and interacts with his environment. He has a little bit of anxiety, so one of the things his mom experienced, for example, is going to the grocery store is really scary. And that's very frequent for a lot of our students with autism. Social situations make them feel very uncomfortable because they don't know how to interact with people or their environment sometimes.
And how does autism affect academically?
So for Ben, his academics are more functional. So we're looking at things that are going to provide him daily skills to get him through life the best that we can on his own independently. So one of his paras, Kaylee, she does toileting routine with him. She does hygiene, brushes teeth, brushes hair, combs it, deodorant, all of those kinds of things, as well as he will do things like identifying colors, sorting things, identifying sort of like hospital signs, emergency signs, where to get help, those kinds of things. We focus a lot on that type of academics for him.
Well, thank you so much. This is Tate Preston signing off to get to know Ben.
Say bye. Can you tell the camera bye? Can you say bye? Yo, that's a bye. That works. Yeah, that'll work.
See you around the halls, Ben.
You know another man I've been seeing walking around the halls near the music department?
Teacher of the Year finalist Scott Cummerow.
Great guess. Let's check in with him now, and then we'll see what another teacher has planned in autos.
Senior reporter Maddie Hinsberg here with
Mr. Cumrow.
So I'm just going to be asking you a few questions. To start off, why did you become a teacher?
I mean, there's a really long answer to that, but it really comes down to having teachers I really admired. I grew up here in Fergus Falls, and Mr. Hoffbeck still teaches here, and he's one of the first teachers I had that really, really inspired me. And I had many other teachers along the way, and I saw what they were doing, and I wanted to be like them.
What made you want to become a music teacher?
Similar story. Inspiring teachers, but the funny story is that I was just thinking about being a teacher, and one day in a social studies class, a friend of mine turned around and said, "Scott, you should be a band director." And I was like, "Yeah, I should be a band director." And that pretty much, from that point on, I was on that path.
And how long have you been a teacher?
I've been in Fergus for 15 years and teaching for 17.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about being a music teacher?
I think that I have a unique job. I start working with students in 5th grade all the way through their senior year, so I feel like I get to know students very well, and that's really great for the creative process and making music together. It also enables me to help students out with decisions like college and other things, so I really appreciate that about what I'm able to do.
What's your biggest accomplishment you've had so far?
I mean, there's a lot of things, and I feel like even every day brings some great accomplishments to it. It's hard to point at one thing, but probably the most historic thing I've ever been a part of is when the band marched in President Obama's first inaugural parade. It really was, I mean, I could talk for hours about that experience because it was so unique. I'm not sure I'll ever get to experience anything like that again, just because of its historical ramifications. If I was pointing to one thing, it would be the 2009 inaugural parade.
And last question, what does it feel like to be a semi-finalist for Teacher of the Year?
My feeling was when I was just nominated in the school district, I felt really good about it because I work in a district with a lot of amazing teachers, and I look up to so many of them in a lot of ways. And so to have some of them, say, hey, you're doing a good job is really fulfilling. And then, getting past that is like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's some things that I'm doing that are unique and special. And so to make it to a semifinalist was really affirming, especially in a year where teaching's really hard this year, just like everything else. But teaching is particularly difficult. And so to kind of have that maybe fueling me a little this year has been helpful.
All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Senior reporter Aaron Greger here with Mr. Hikus, the auto shop teacher. Mr. Hikus, I got a couple questions for you. First question is, what subjects have you been teaching in your auto classes?
So this year we have Auto 1, Auto 2, Auto 3, and a Basic Car Care class. Basic Car Care is a semester-long class, 1-hour class, and it's what it sounds like, very basic. Auto 1, 2, and 3 are tiered automotive classes where we cover all 8 areas of automotive repair. We do some bookwork, but a lot of hands-on repair.
What sort of projects are you working on in the auto shop right now?
Oh, we've got a number of different things going on right now. We've got a transmission coming out of a vehicle to do some clutch work on. We've got a engine out of another vehicle doing head gaskets. Got a couple alignments coming up, so a broad range of stuff. Next week we'll be doing some oil changes for Basic Car Care, so a little bit of everything.
I heard that auto students have the opportunity to go on a field trip this month. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, every year we get the opportunity to go to Camp Ripley. This trip is there to show students the opportunities that area provides. And it goes along with automotive repair because they have 2 very large repair shops there where they work on both tracked and wheeled vehicles. And Camp Ripley employs civilians as well as enlisted soldiers. So a lot of different opportunities. So we'll be headed down there next week, and we'll get a tour of a lot of the camp. We don't just tour the shops; we cover some other areas as well. So it's really a good opportunity for the students.
Who makes this field trip possible?
So this field trip is a partnership between the auto program and the National Guard, but the National Guard actually covers the cost of all of it. So the busing, we get to take coach buses, so that's real nice. Cover the busing, and then they feed us lunch when we're there. And so they cover the expense. All I really have to do is organize it and line it up and go along and chaperone. So,
is there anything else that you'd like to mention in regards to the auto shop?
Yeah, well, we do a number of other field trips as well. Typically, we'll go tour a couple colleges every year. We do a business tour where we'll go through the shops in Fergus. So I like that connection between community and the school. And yeah, anybody interested at any level in automotive, you don't have to want to become an automotive technician to take an automotive class. It can really be beneficial whether you're going to go on to be a technician or not.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for letting me ask you these questions.
Thank you.
What great teachers we have.
KSS is a great school.
Heck, Fergus is a great town. Let's check out some commercials for local businesses as well as an interview with Premier Meats and Seafood.
Hey man, what's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know much about cars and mine broke down, so
I wish there was a place I could get it fixed.
Well, I have an idea. There's this place called South Mill Service. You can take it there and they can take a look at it for you and probably fix it up for you too.
Really?
Yeah. And plus, if you're looking to get a new firearm, they might have one there that you like because they sell firearms too.
Well, I do like hunting. Let's go take a look. They
Let's
might
go.
Be able to help me.
Heck yeah.
Come on down to South Mill Service. They do automotive repair, electrical, tune-up, air conditioning, hitches, and wiring. And plus, they sell new and used guns, reloading supplies, and ammunition.
Thanks for the service.
Have you ever wanted to get a tasty meal that fills you up and for cheap? Taco Bell has many options for a very low price. Try their new strawberry freeze. To go along with that, you could try their new quesalupa filled with your choice of meat and a stuffed shell. Chips and cheese are a great option to pick off of the Dollar Cravings menu. Visit our nearest location at 615 Frontier Drive, Fergus Falls, Minnesota.
Police, stop!
We finally got you now. Who is your supplier?
Taco John's.
My God, we've been trying to get their valueless deal for years now.
Taco John's. Deals so good, they should be criminal.
Senior reporter Sam Weitenheimer here with
John Anderson, owner of Premier Meats and Seafood.
So John, how long have you been in the meat business and why did you start?
I've been in the meat business for 55 years, and the reason I started it, I worked with my uncle up in Fargo at Independent Wholesale. That's where I got my start. And then I moved back to Fergus here in 1979 and worked for Ericsson's Morphor till they were bought out, I should say. And Brian and I decided to start our own business, and that's where it started.
What makes Premier different and better than a grocery store?
I think we have a quality product, and we make a lot of our own sausages and everything. A lot of pride goes into what we do, and it's basically quality and service. That's all we can base it on.
Awesome. Do you have any future plans for Premier?
Brian and I have a few future plans. We want to expand our store, make it a little bigger so we can carry more products and for the customers at what they want.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
Senior reporter Wyatt Gilbertson here with
Wiley from Premier Meats and Seafood.
So Wiley, what do you do here at Premier Meats?
Well, my job mainly as the head meat cutter is to make sure our product is full and fresh, so people got a lot of nice things to pick from. One of the main things that I do is maximize profits for the shop. So that entails using up trim, keeping guys in line, keeping productivity moving forward.
So how long have you worked here, and is it enjoyable?
I've been here for about 4.5 years. It's very enjoyable. I've cut meat for about 20 years of my life. Between me and John and Brian, we have over 100 years of experience between us. So we do a really good job here.
And then Wiley, what's your favorite cut of meat?
Oh boy, that's like asking me my favorite child. New York strip, I go to that, it's my go-to. But if you want a little fatty, a little decadence, you get yourself a nice fat ribeye. And you can get that cut to order here any way you like it.
That sounds really good. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. You guys
Senior reporter here with
Rick L.
So Rick, what is your job here at Premier Meats?
I work behind the service counter. I just help people when they come in and they ask me what they want, or I ask them what they want out of the counter, and I just package it up for them and ring them up.
Sweet. What did you do before working here at Premier?
I actually owned several grocery stores on my own, so I've been working with the public for a long time. Many years. Came here about 6 months ago and asked if they needed some help, and they hired me, so I've been here since last November.
Wow. What made you decide working here?
Just the atmosphere of the place, There's good owners here. The fellow employees are very nice. It's just a good place to be, and I can still connect with the public.
Well, thanks for your time, Rick.
So much good meat. Don't go baking my heart.
Really? A meat pun?
Come on and meet me halfway.
Absolutely not. We have to sign off right now. But lucky for you, we have some poetic, never-before-seen projects to wrap up this episode. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching and keep it classy, KSS.
I can read on a boat. I can read with a goat. I can read on a train. I can read in the rain. I can read with a fox. I can read in a box. I can read with a mouse. I can read in a house. I can read here or there or anywhere.
Rain comes pouring down. Trickle, trickle, trickle. I jumped up and down. Puddle, puddle, puddle. My nose starts running. Sneezy, sneezy, sneezy. My breath comes louder. Wheezy, wheezy, wheezy. Mama gives me hot tea that I sip, sip, sip. I eat chocolate cookies and smack my lips.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Thou wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning. They do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned, too late, they grieved it on its own way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men, near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Red rooster in your red coop. O stately creature with tail feathers red and blue, yellow and black. You have a comb gay as a parade on your head. You have pearl trinkets on your feet. The short feathers smooth along your back are the dark color of wet rocks or the ripple green of ships. When I look at their sides through water, I don't know how you happen to be made. So proud, so foolish, wearing your coat of many colors, shouting all day your crooked words. Loud, sharp, not beautiful.